Welcome back to Peer-Guided DBT Lessons, provided by DBT Skills Application, Peers Helping Peers. This week's lesson, marked 3-12 in our Emotion Regulation module, we'll be looking at surfing emotions and being mindful of emotions. Please keep in mind that we're simply peers helping peers, working together to bring about more peaceful, constructive, and ultimately happier lives. In other words, a life worth living. Emotional numbness can be taught. Your emotions are like a compass. In the same way that a compass tells you where you are located in space and what direction to go, your emotions tell you what vibration you are currently holding and what direction to go to improve that personal frequency so that the circumstances of your life are in alignment with your desires. Naturally, because people don't want to feel bad and do want to feel good, if left to their own devices, they would gravitate towards what did feel good. They would unconsciously follow the internal guidance system of their own emotions. But the process of socialization crosses our wires a bit. When we are being socialized as children, we are taught that many things that feel bad are in fact good, and that many things that feel good are in fact bad. In order to follow through with things that feel bad, we have to tune out our emotions and learn to ignore them. To compound things further, because we do not collectively understand what emotions are and what purpose they serve, we are essentially living in an emotional dark age. This means that society has made emotions in and of themselves a bad thing. And that means that during the process of socialization, children are punished for having certain emotions. As a result, they dissociate from, reject, deny, and disown those emotions. They then grow up to suppress these emotions and deny the fact that they even have them. People in general struggle to be in touch with their emotions and do not handle their own emotions well. Consider it a collective epidemic. But there is a percentage of people here on Earth who have lost touch with their emotions entirely. It is as if they cannot feel at all. Numbness has taken the place where emotions should be. Emotional numbness is learned. We all started out knowing how we feel at a given point in our lives. However, things can happen that interrupt that process. Some people have learned primarily to feel numb after a trauma. What is the feeling of numb? It is the absence of feeling, especially when the underlying feelings are too intense to tolerate. It protects the psyche from being overwhelmed. It is similar to a shot of Novocaine before a painful dental procedure. Both the Novocaine and the emotional numbing are used for protection. They help people to survive. The difference is that after the dental procedure, the numbing gets replaced by healthy feelings. Numbing after a trauma can become a way of life. Unless emotionally numb people learn how to feel again, no forward movement in their life can be made. To give you an analogy, they have to learn how to recognize, tune into, and follow the compass again. Only then can they move forward in life towards something better. The first thing you need to understand if you can't feel is that the emotional system never stops working. So every emotion still exists within every person. Like a compass that cannot break, it keeps on reporting regardless of whether or not anyone is referring to it. This means you do not need to work on getting your body to feel as if something is broken. What you do need to do is to train your own consciousness to perceive again. Many people feel something, and then bury it deep down until they think it's gone. Emotions can act somewhat like this placid, apparently tranquil waterway. This surface is very deceptive because the power of the river current is buried deep beneath what is visible. What you feel does not leave your body or your heart unless you confront it. Feeling your emotions can be as rough as it is elating. However, the point is that we feel them physically, whether we ignore them or not. Emotions are meant to be used, not ignored. Confronting your emotions will allow you to experience happiness, even if something sad or upsetting happens in your day. Think of your emotions like the ripples on the surface of this water. By being willing to face the shadows of uncomfortable emotions, you also allow yourself the pleasure of being a part of those bright, shining moments that the natural movement of life will bring to the surface. It is not possible to have the peaks without the valleys. When we suppress or repress, ignore or avoid, in other words, when we keep emotions in, we pay a high price. Much has been written about the cost of suppression to our psychological well-being. And it is not only our psychological well-being that is influenced by our emotions, but our physical well-being as well. Since emotions are both cognitive and physical, affecting and being affected by our thoughts and physiology, suppressing emotion influences the mind and the body. If you have trouble getting in touch with your feelings, there's a good reason for that. To feel your feelings, you need to be aware of your body. But the body has recorded each painful episode in your life, small, big, or deep trauma. Not knowing how to deal with pain, we all learn to tune out the body. Pushing away or denying feelings is learned behavior. It was life-saving. Repeating this behavior later in life takes a toll on health and relationships. Feeling your feelings today means getting in touch with old and new pain in your body and releasing it. That can be quite scary. Each of us fears being swallowed up or annihilated by anticipated pain. Those emotions are active within the body, even if we have learned how to avoid feeling them. They do more harm when we continue to suppress them than if we allow them to surface and be released. When you do not allow yourself to feel, your energy becomes fragmented, scattered, and ungrounded. It takes a tremendous amount of your valuable vital energy to suppress feelings. You may fear allowing them to be felt will overwhelm you with an overpowering tidal wave. But that same emotional current is with you until you do allow it to be felt. Those emotions do not gain strength just because you allow them to be felt. Ride the wave. A surfer doesn't fight the powerful ocean wave. He moves with the wave, riding its natural tide. Riding the wave is also a psychological practice of surfing your own powerful and uncomfortable emotions. Rather than fighting sadness, anger, and other negative emotions, is about allowing your emotions to wash over you like a tidal wave, riding them out until they pass so that you can make wise decisions from a place of calm rather than a place of emotional turmoil that can often lead to destructive or ineffective behavior that doesn't serve your goals. Just as the waves in an ocean change, so do our emotions. Like waves, our emotions might be calm and peaceful one moment, and at another rocky and unpredictable. But it can be predicted that, 1. Emotions always come in waves. 2. Emotion waves are usually short-lived through emotion surfing. And 3. Surfing helps us stop doing things that make emotions worse, emotion suppression, ruminating, and engaging in emotion-driven behavior. Often, intense feelings and urges seem like they will never end, leading us to amplify the experience and act on impulse. But we want to ride the emotions until they ebb and wash out, which they will. The chart here illustrates the process of allowing and releasing an emotion. Starting on the right with number 1, first of all, notice. Notice how you feel. Number 2, name. Name the emotion. What is it? What word best describes it? Number 3, accept. Accept the emotion. It's a normal reaction. What prompted it? Don't judge or condone. Just let it be for now. Number 4, investigate. Investigate the emotion. How intense is it? How are you breathing? What are you feeling physically? And finally, number 5, allow and release. So by learning how to allow and release the emotion, you're letting yourself notice and allow your thoughts. You're letting yourself release judgments of and struggles with thoughts. And you're allowing yourself to breathe deeply. Starting with number 1 from our chart, notice your feeling. Observe your feeling. Experience your feeling as a wave coming and going. Try not to block the feeling. Don't try to get rid of it. Don't try to push it away. And don't try to hold on to it. Don't try to make the feeling bigger. Remember, you are not the feeling. You don't need to act on it. Remember times when you have felt differently. And numbers 2 through 5, become more comfortable with your feeling. Don't judge it. Radically accept it as part of you. Name your feeling, invite it home with you for a visit, and sit with it for a while. But remember, sitting with an emotion for more than 20 minutes may prove unhelpful. Be sure to have your distraction exercise planned in advance. Learning to feel your feelings starts again with the decision that you will do your best to stay present and in your body. As you start tuning into your feelings and your body, you will notice a sudden urge to run away, do something, talk to somebody, suddenly get hungry, or remember a chore that you have postponed for a while and must do it now, or simply you will zone out. Those are all attempts to not feel the feelings. Surfing or riding the wave involves observing and coping with the experience without trying to change it. As the more frequent tendency is to escape or attempt to fix an uncomfortable state of being, riding the wave may seem unnatural. It's challenging to accept our thoughts and manage our emotions, but if we can learn how to ride the wave, we can prevent our urges from dictating our behavior. We can be more secure knowing that we have control over our behavior and learn how to make wise decisions to enhance productivity in our everyday life experiences. Knowing your feelings means knowing yourself and living without protections and masks. The biggest gift you can give yourself is to learn to emotionally soothe yourself, be there for yourself, and then you can be around others without a need to make them take away your pain or take on their pain. It is your ticket to vitality. Next week in our peer-guided DBT lessons emotion regulation module, we'll be looking at opposite action.